Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Jules Leyhe. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to get out of the rut of playing things that you know on slide guitar in only one place. I want to make sure that you guys have the whole neck available to you for basically whatever idea you have. So I've taken the intro lick to Blue Sky by the Allman Brothers off of Eat a Peach, one of my favorite Allman Brothers songs for sure. And I'm going to show you guys a number of different ways of playing it, hopefully expand what you already know on slide guitar, and just get you out of playing things the same way every single time. Now, before I go on to the lesson, I want to recommend that everybody check out the signature Jules Leyhe Liquislide, as well as the Derek Trucks Masterclass. This is a slide course dedicated to really getting you to becoming an awesome slide guitar player. I've had a number of people just reach out to me and tell me just how much they love the course. So I hope that you guys pick it up if you haven't already. Picking up the course also really helps keep the light on here at the YouTube channel, so I really appreciate it. Now let's get into this Blue Sky lesson. So in case you're not familiar already, Blue Sky is in the key of E, which is great because we're in open E-tuned guitar here, right? And let me play the phrase. This is kind of my favorite way of playing it. This is the very intro to the song. And let me show you where I would play it, and then we'll play it in a couple of different places, navigate some of the tuning. We'll see what we come across in just a sec. But this starts at the 5th string, at the 5th fret on your E. And I would play it like this. So this is awesome because, yes, it's a song, and it's very melodic, but it's actually just the E major pentatonic scale, and it's 2 octaves of it, right? It's going from this E down here up to this E up here at the 12th fret on the 1st string. So let me show you the run first, and basically, this is funny because this is not played on slide guitar in the recording. Partly what I want you guys to get comfortable with is not just playing slide guitar things on slide guitar, but this is fretted, and we can easily adapt that to our slide playing. So this lick sounds like this. The main thing is that you're sliding the correct way, which would be from scale degrees 2 to 3, right, on this 1st string. So we're going to pick the root, then slide from 2 to 3. Then on the next string, I pick 5, 6. And I don't slide into those. You could, but I like to pick up, you don't want to just slide between every single note or it gets too swoopy. So let me slow this down just a little bit. The 1st octave looks and sounds like this. And then right there, we get kind of the first sort of funny tuning thing with this open E tuning. Normally, in standard tuning, our E would be at the 9th fret of the 3rd string. But because it's tuned to G sharp, our E note is actually at the 8th fret. So that last bit is frets 7 and 9 on the 4th string, and then the 8th fret of the 3rd string. So that 1st octave once more looks and sounds like this. Now that we're at our E, again, we need to do that same exact thing, but up to the next high E at that 12th fret of the 1st string. So all we're going to do the same exact shape where we're going to slide from 2 to 3. We're just on the 3rd string now, right? So from the root at the 8th fret first. Now this one's really cool because as soon as we get to the 3rd, we're in our very favorable, lovely, lot of happy accidents, and a lot of the work is taken care of because we're in this open E tuning at the 12th fret. As soon as we're at the 12th fret, we're set. We love that zone. But getting from 8 to 12 is just a little bit weird. This part is what I want you to get used to and have it not feel as weird after you do this a lot. But here's the second octave. The cool thing is at that 12th fret, we're going to go from 3 to 5 scale degrees just at that same fret, and we're going to just change from the third to the second string. So what I mean is we're going to go like this, nice and slowly. Then once we've come, let me slow that down just a little bit from that high E note at the 12th fret. Now that requires just a little bit of muting. The pitches would be 1, 6, and then it's sliding down from 3 to 2, back down to the root. Okay, and then it wraps up with that nice little blues like 3, 2, 1. So here's that whole phrase, and then we're going to move it around the neck, okay, and just see what, there are just some slight changes that we have to make when we play it in different places. But here it is again. I'll do it nice and slow and then up to speed. And now a little bit faster. Then those last chords at the end are D, A, back up to E. Okay, so that's kind of where I like to play it the very most. But, as promised, now let's try to play this in a couple of other places so that that's not the only option that we have. I'm going to start by starting up at the 12th fret, okay? And this would be on the 6th string, so the lowest string. Now, I really don't love playing it here, but that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise and this whole lesson is simply showing you other places of playing this. And when you're playing songs, when you're transcribing things that aren't played by a slide guitarist, this sort of understanding the fretboard is what makes certain positions more favorable than others. You know, the phrasing of a lot of ideas has to do with where you physically play some of these things. So let me show you how I'd play it up here, and then we'll probably understand why this is kind of not really my favorite zone. But here it is, 12th fret, and I'm going to go nice and slow. So for a number of reasons, this just isn't really, playing anything way up high on the low string. I just don't like that as much as kind of playing like this 5th fret, 5th string note to me, E. That just sounds better and operates better than this. Not the end of the world, and I want to have it as an option, but I like it up here at the 5th fret more. But there's this other thing, which is that there's this awkward kind of clunky 5th between the 6th string and the 5th string. So anytime we're playing a melodic passage like this, we're going to have to, if we're going from the 3rd to the 5th, there's just kind of an awkward leap that we have to make from going up here. See how I had to go back from this 16th fret back to the 12th fret. You're bound to just get a little bit pitchy, and, it's just a little clunky as far as playing a line fast and just comfortably is concerned. But great to know, that's what we want to gather here is like, okay, this might be a place to avoid as far as playing this, but at least it's an option for us, right? So once we do that the same slide from 2 to 3, and come back to the 5th. Now there's a little bit that works really well right here. We can go 5, 6, 1 pretty comfortably with frets 12, 14, and 12 on the 5th and 4th string. From there, we're going to do that same slide up where we go 2 to 3, and then back 1 fret, 15th fret of the 3rd string, up to the 17th fret. Okay, so this is a funny one because this is just like, I really like where I was doing this before a lot more. So the 12th fret, that's how you'd play it. But again, not my favorite way of playing it. The phrasing's just not as comfortable as down at the 5th fret. Maybe my second favorite place is to play this with the open 4th string first, which would be like this. So that feels a lot better. And the only kind of tricky part that we have to navigate is that 3rd string, because again, it's kind of off by a fret of where we're used to in our standard tuning, right? So let me walk through this one a little bit slowly. Same exact thing where we're going to do the open root. We just hit that open. We can't put any vibrato or anything on it. It's an open string now. Slide from 2 to 3, from frets 2 to 4 on that same 4th string. Now we go back to the 3rd fret on the G string, the G sharp string, and we go frets 3 to 5, which are pitches 5 and 6. And that's a nice little part of this way of phrasing it, is that from 6 to 1, those are both at the 5th fret. So you get this nice little... Right, having the 6 right below the root at that same fret is a really beautiful, if you're not doing this already, this is kind of like the B.B. King zone of our standard tuned guitar, but we get this awesome little, B.B. King zone to hang out in with the 2nd and 3rd strings when you're thinking about your root on the 2nd string. So in this case, that's the E note, the 5th fret here. Right? You see how that's like the B.B. King thing? Okay? I'm going away from Blue Sky for just half a second to show you guys all that lies within, the tuning in this position right here. So, that's just a little bit about that first half. That first octave sounds like this. Now that second octave is just pretty much, this one's way more straightforward, especially compared to the one where we started at the 12th fret. From this E right here, slide from 2 to 3. Now there are a couple of options for this. You could either fret the B with your index finger. That's a really nice and convenient way, especially if you're playing this up to speed. You might want to go... See how I didn't go? I went. So this gives an opportunity to fret a note. Since you're only playing it for a split second anyway, you might want to try that. Let me show you a little bit slower again. I'm going to add that lower octave so that you can try to incorporate this into how you're playing this run. So here we go. I'll slow it down just a little bit, and then I'll play it a little faster. Now a little bit faster, okay? Right? So that's a really cool way of using fretting behind the slide just to grab that one note that's in passing anyway. We don't really need it to sound like we're playing slide every single note. It's totally cool to just incorporate some fretting behind the slide for sure. So that's 3 different ways of playing this. At the end here, as soon as we're up at this 12th fret, you could totally end this the same way that I ended that first one, where I went. Right? I mean, there are a number of options here. But this is the sort of thing that I want you guys to try with any melody that you're working on, any solo that you're working on, any song. One thing that I like to work on with my students is playing Happy Birthday. And this is just to give an example of another thing that I would try to work on as far as incorporating this sort of technique. Let me play Happy Birthday for just a sec and show you what I mean. Thank you. So you can see I played it on one string there. I'm in the key of E, and I had to know intervallically, how the melody goes. It's really common for people to go Happy Birthday and just kind of not know the melody well enough on the guitar. So that's one way of playing Happy Birthday. Now in the same key, I'm going to play it a different way. I'm going to play now across the strings more, okay? And that would be something like this. Again, there are tons of options, but the lesson here is play things a number of different ways, okay? So here's another way of playing Happy Birthday in the key of E still. Okay, so whatever song it is, whatever you're working on, try it in a number of different ways. See which ways are kind of to be avoided. As much as I do have this in my back pocket, and if I needed to play Blue Sky up at the 12th fret, I could go. But I don't love that as much as I love my other options down here, okay? So that's the lesson for today. I hope that you guys are able to do this. This is a great song to practice this on. You do not have to use this song at all. But, again, it's incorporating pentatonic. There are a lot of useful things in working this melody and playing on this song. And also, if you guys haven't been jamming on Blue Sky, it's just such a great tune for really exercising major scale stuff. They don't really ever go on the recording. They never play certain notes. Like you never hear a G natural. You never hear a D natural. It's not E7 to A7. It's E major to A major. And it's very pentatonic based. So whenever I'm listening to guys like Jimmy Herring, Derek Trucks, there are videos of Jack Pearson playing this tune, Dickie Betts, obviously the original Eat a Peach recording with Duane Allman, nobody's playing anything except for major scale, E major. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. And yeah, that does it for this. I really appreciate, this sort of approach to slide. You're going to discover what you do and don't know across the fretboard when you do this sort of thing. So I hope that you guys dug this. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting videos like this out all the time. We've actually just gone on a whole bunch of cool little field trips. We have a bunch of tone adventure videos. I've been playing some incredible guitars, gotten my hands on some Dumble amplifiers. I've played 6 Dumble amps in the last 2 weeks. So we've got all that documented. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video.